Hello and welcome to the Three Rivers Community College Writing Center tutorial about making in-text citations using MLA format. To start, I'm going to open up a sample content piece that we've already constructed so that we can look at how to make insertions in text. This is a sample paper in MLA format. You notice that it's already double-spaced, and what we've got here is we've just got some content that we can work with. I've increased the size to make it a little bit easier to read. Okay, so what you see is an introduction here, and there are going to be a few places where we can think about putting in in-text citations. And in-text citations are going to be used to document where information from outside sources is included in your paper. Okay, and usually the rule of thumb is anything that's going to be not considered common knowledge should be documented. So we're going to read this over and we're going to see, well, what are the places where it looks like we could probably have some documentation. If we go to the top, Americans are obsessed with pets. From iguanas to chihuahuas, Americans adore their pets and don't mind spending vast amounts of money on them every year. That's a possibility. The vast amounts of money, probably common knowledge. Dogs or cats are by far the most popular choices for most Americans. Yeah, probably that's pretty common knowledge as well. If we keep going down here, we're going to see that, okay, right down here we have something very specific. Okay, and I'm going to highlight that just to take a look at it. Okay, so right here we have this sentence: in 2008, 400,000 cats were surrendered by their owners to local rescue groups. Okay, that kind of specific information is definitely something we want to document. Now, the basic format for MLA in-text documentation, or parenthetical documentation because it appears in parentheses, is going to look like this. I'm going to add a space after this particular piece of information. I'm going to open the parentheses up, and I'm going to put in my author name, and I'm going to put in the page number where that particular piece of information appears. I'm going to close the parentheses, and then notice the final period is at the end. Okay, so I'm going to take out that highlighting again, and that's what it's going to look like. Okay, so that's a very typical MLA in-text citation. Okay, and again, all that we're going to see is author and page number. For MLA documentation, we never include a website, we don't include dates. The only other thing we're going to see, the only other variation is going to be possibly a title. Okay, so the next line down, this one, dogs don't turn up quite as often at humane societies, and then we have this factoid also very specific. Okay, so we're going to need a documentation there also. Let's say this is from a different source. Okay, and we're going to put in a source like that. Okay, but this one, let's say this is a web source. Okay, we don't have page numbers, we have paragraphs. We're going to do something like this to show that it's a paragraph on a very large website. We still have an author name, that's how we're going to cite it. Okay, but it's not a page. It's, so again, you can count down in a website and see how many paragraphs it's going down to. Okay, so those look pretty good. We're going to go down a little bit farther. Okay, and here's the other thing we need to be aware of. Okay, we have something right here beginning with spay or neuter their animals or become part of the epidemic of unwanted pets. Okay, this part right here, that's a direct quote. Okay, so when you have a verbatim quote like that, you definitely want to have an in-text citation. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing down here. Okay, I'm going to take out this period because we don't need two pieces of punctuation there. When you have a verbatim quote like this, okay, these two above, okay, these guys, okay, these are both paraphrases. Okay, so you notice there are no direct quotation marks around either of those. Those are paraphrases that use these particular pieces of information. Paraphrases need in-text documentation just like direct quotes do. And we've got both examples in this paragraph. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to start my parenthetical documentation the same way. And let's just say I'm using the same source, and it's going to be Jones, and this actually is going to look like that. Okay, so you notice that we have the quotation marks ending here, we have the author name, the page number, final period at the end. Okay, so those are the basic ways to use in-text citation. But I'm going to show you another way to do this by changing a little text here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in a signal phrase, according to Martin Jones, director of the American Humane Society, okay, comma. Okay, so I already have the name of this source actually in the text, if it already shows up there, I don't need to repeat it at the end. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out that name, okay, and just have the page number. Then the whole sentence right here, it reads a little bit differently, but it still works for us. According to Martin Jones, director of the American Humane Society, in 2008, 400,000 cats were surrendered by their owners to local rescue groups. Then I just have the page number here, page 25. Okay, so this is what's called a signal phrase, okay, according to a particular source. That's probably the most common one. Okay, so another way to do it then is to mention the source here in the signal phrase, and then you can take out that information in the parenthetical. Okay, down here also, when we have our verbatim quote, again the word-for-word quote that's right here in quotation marks. We could do the same thing if we wanted to, but right now we're going to just leave it like it is. Okay, so just to recap really quickly, there are a few different ways to think about in-text citation. One's a paraphrase, and you can have the author named in text or not. Okay, and that's kind of the first kind of in-text citation we're going to have. It's a paraphrase. The second kind, right, is the example we had at the bottom, which is the verbatim. Okay, so that's the part that is in quotation marks here. Okay, and we can have the same things going on. Author named in text or not. Okay, so if it has a signal phrase, like this one above, it means the author is named in the text. And then if it doesn't have a signal phrase, it's going to look like this one, okay, where the author has their last name and either a paragraph or page number at the bottom, or excuse me, at the end of the line. So those are the basic ways to insert text into your MLA document, into your MLA essay, and also the basic ways to make in-text citations. Okay, and if you have any questions about this, there are a lot of different places you can go to get some more information. One of the websites I recommend, we're just going to open up the internet here really quick, is this one, and it's from the Writer's Reference, and this is a free site you can access anytime, but it's from the Bedford St. Martin's, and it gives a lot of good stuff here about documenting sources. So again, I'm going to go to the humanities, and this has lots of stuff with MLA, especially in-text citations, and it's going to give you really nice information, okay, about how to insert things in text. Okay, so you can also go here if you want, and I'm going to copy the website right here. Copy that and put it in our document, a little bigger font so you can see it. So again, if you want to go to a really good website, okay, for more information about MLA and text citations, there it is. Okay, so dianahacker.com, and you can type in the rest. Okay, so thanks for checking out this tutorial, and hopefully this will help you out with putting in-text citations into your MLA documents.